What's going on there, YouTube? It's your boy Jimbo. This is my 2010 GMC Yukon XL Denali. This video is going to be more for the showcasing the rear overhead Panasonic DVD players in here. Basically, just trying to show and give you some information on the remotes. There's two different remotes for this vehicle, and there's some confusion for which remote works per vehicle, and I don't have a definitive answer on what remote works for which vehicle. All I know is if you were to buy one remote and that remote does not work for your vehicle, there is another option. So granted, I'll show you. This is you got the Panasonic rear overhead. This is a dual because it is the XL. I think I think it's only for the XL versions. It's the second DVD screen, but that one does not have the sensor bar. So technically, you would only be operating this one with the remote. So granted, yes, there are two remotes. Let's start with the older one. Okay, so this remote for GM, that works for, like, you know, Chevrolet, GMC, Cadillac, basically any GM models. I think maybe even Buick, but I'm pretty sure it's mainly just the GM models, which I guess Buick is a GM model if I'm not mistaken, but Chevrolet, Suburban, Tahoe, GMC, Yukon, Acadia, Cadillac Escalade, of course. But basically, this one is a GM remote, 2007 through 2011. Okay, this one is more the modern, but it's still 2007 through 2014. So technically, my Yukon fits in between that. You know, those years that, you know, you should be able to use this remote for the rear overhead player. And when I purchased this vehicle, it did have this remote, and I threw new batteries in it and does nothing. Okay, so then I went on Amazon and I picked up the same, it fits 2010 Yukon, and it does nothing. So this is my old remote because I ended up returning the one I got off of Amazon in purchase of this used one. Granted, you cannot find these this remote brand new. Maybe a slight chance you could, but a lot of the eBay listings, you cannot find this on Amazon either. I'm unable to find this exact remote on Amazon. This is a eBay pre-owned purchased, but, again, this remote does not work for my Yukon. This remote does. I'm just going to start my video and kind of showcase that. And then I'm also going to give you part numbers, because both of these remotes have two different part numbers. I'm sure it's in here. So this one starts with a 1. And I will link the numbers down in the description just so you have it. But this is the part number for this remote. And granted, again, this older style remote, 2007 through 2011, this remote works for my Yukon. This 07 through 14 remote does not. And I'm sure that one has part number in here as well. It's kind of, I guess you could read it. Yes, there's some battery acid. And no, even with the new remote, I mean, that was brand new. I saw it and was clean. Does nothing. And honestly, this remote, the one I bought off Amazon, the new one, because I already returned it, but I have a friend of mine that has a 2007, 2008 Cadillac Escalade, and I actually wanted him to test something for me. I go, I want you to have this remote. I want you to test it for me in your Escalade. Tell me if it works or not. And he did, and it works. So he has this remote. This one was not this one particularly, but he had the same style remote in his Escalade. This one works. Then I gave him this one to test, and they both worked. So I don't know what the difference is. I mean, with IR signals, I'm assuming it's gonna do the same exact, input. But for my Yukon, they are two different, it's like a language barrier, where one is sending a different signal than the other, and I guess it's not compatible. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just really odd that even though this remote says it can work for a 2010 Yukon, did not work for mine. So anyways, let me pause it, let me get this video started and kind of showcase the features and basically the functions of a working, compatible rear overhead DVD remote. And then just gonna say hi to the puppies out here, right over there. Her name's Maggie. We got Rocky over by the tree. Bella is all the way over there, and then Crazy Titus, he's just checking out the grass. Puppies are just kind of hanging out. All right, so now I'm inside my Yukon. We do have a DVD in there, in the DVD slot. And before, as of right now, it's black screen. And I have a PS2. Maybe you've seen him before when I was talking. I wanted to basically have a setup in here between DVD and entertainment for PlayStation. And granted, this isn't a whole permanent setup, but I just wanted to be able to switch from DVD to it's an auxiliary input. So currently DVD is not playing, but if I were to take this remote, and I should hit play from right about to here, or do I need to turn it on? Shouldn't call me a liar. I think you need to power it on first. Alright, so power screen is on. Hit the power button. You can actually see if I hit the power button, turns the screen off. Hit the power button on the remote again, screen turns on. And then if I were to hit play, there it goes. So I'm watching Death Race. I'm I've watched it probably 9 times already. It's a good movie. Anyways, so the remote functions from, if you got kids or something. I'm a grown adult. I just kind of want to mess around back here. If I have a driver, I usually have my friend drive. But basically, I wanted to sit back here and instead of having my friend change the input, I wanted a remote so I can just do it myself. Anyways, the way I have this thing set up. Actually, first I'm gonna pause the movie. So you can pause it, play. Let's do a skip, chapter skip. You can skip, cool. And then I'm gonna pause it again. Alright, so that works. That remote does work. And again, I can't physically use this one. Even if I were to put batteries in it. Again, this one does not work for my Yukon. Again, I don't know why, but back to the thing here. I have this power inverter hooked up to the cigarette port, and then the RCA cables for the PS2. So if I just power that on, the power button on the PS2. Yeah, PS2 is a little funky with the laser. It does need to be replaced. I'm going to be doing that soon. But it does eventually read the disc. So to change inputs from DVD to your auxiliary port, you just hit the aux button on the remote. And that will change the input essentially. There we go. We got PlayStation 2. Again, fully functional, even with the second overhead remote or screen. This one will function as well. Hopefully I'm seeing that right. Hopefully you guys can see that they both work. So essentially, if you were to purchase a remote, Amazon's been really good with returns. With buying pre-owned and on eBay, you're maybe not going to have a greater chance of returning a product. So I would say that if you have a GM 07 through 14, first try buying this remote. And granted, this is not a 100% guarantee this remote is going to work for your 07 through 14. Believe it or not, I actually, with that the same remote I bought off Amazon with, this style, it says it does not work for, like I said, it's only up to 14, but I've had a couple people on the Amazon reviews say, oh yeah, it works for my 15, or hey, it works for my 16, and granted, I tried that remote on a 2019 Chevrolet Suburban Premier. That remote did work. The one on Amazon, even though it claims it does not work for the newer style or newer GM models, I think after that, the 14, 15 year, they started using the controller type remotes for the overhead players. Basically, they would have this where the inside of the screen there would be like a cutout for a remote. That would be, the newer style remotes. It's like a handheld controller looking thing. It's really weird. It's not your typical, DVD or TV remotes. It's more like a controller pad. But I would start off buying this off Amazon. Again, I believe the part number for each remote in the description, so you can basically Google search it and kind of find, best price, best return, cheapest, whatever. And granted, like I said, this remote, even though, it claims that it would work for my 2010 Yukon, for whatever reason, it does not. It's just more of a trial and error. And I didn't even know. I had to look up on the, the owner's manual for my Yukon. And I wish it would have a physical picture of what style remote is used for Yukon. All you see and you can read on the owner's manual is like what the buttons do, what happens if the remote doesn't function, basically what, how to operate your remote, but it doesn't physically show an image of, what style remote. These are two different remotes. Even though they technically work together, they are two different styles and part numbers, and again, it's just very odd that this one works for my Yukon, but that one did not. Anyways, let me just show you. So like I said, that's I got GTA in here, but I'm just moving the controller around. But so if I want to mess around with this, or if I want to go back to the DVD, I think, yeah, because the DVD plays on your main screen, but I guess if you're driving, you can't. That screen will turn off if you're driving. It will just go back to I think it would be like an auxiliary, you'd hear the sound and whatever, which is cool. But anyways, that's kind of like what I got for you. So if you're shopping for a, rear, DVD remote for your GM, your GMC, your Chevy, or Cadillac, I would start with this remote, and if that doesn't work, I would return it. Essentially, buy this on Amazon. Again, you have a better chance of returns, and they're hassle-free. That's pretty good. And again, this one was purchased off of eBay, pre-owned. And actually the new remote that I bought was, I think, $33 after tax. And actually this pre-owned one, it actually has came with a clip that you can actually, you know, hang it up back here, but I'm honestly not going to do that. I do have a couple friends and family that I, you know, haul around here. I'm honestly just going to kind of toss it right in there. But I mean, pretty cool that it came with a clip. And honestly, when I was looking at pictures online, I don't ever remember it coming with the clip. But it's kind of cool. But again, if you're shopping for a remote, if that one off Amazon, wherever you get it from, does not work, this is your, I guess I would say your other 40-20% chance of that remote actually worked. And again, I don't know why that one never worked for my Yukon. That was the remote that was originally in my vehicle when I bought it. It never worked, so I figured, oh well, I saw battery acid. You know, maybe the remote is junked, and again, it's never worked. So I don't know if the previous owner picked up this remote and just left it in there, even though it never did anything. I want a physical remote that actually works for my vehicle. And again, this remote is 2007 through 2011 GM. This remote is 07 through 2014. Two different style remotes, two different part numbers. And again, I'll leave the link in the description. But that's kind of how I have it set up. And again, I will just end the video. I will go back to DVD, and you just hit the aux button. It goes back to the DVD, and hit play. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully this helps some people. And like I said, just kind of look around. And again, to end it, there is no definitive, you know, information to tell you, I mean, which remote works for your vehicle. It's kind of a trial and error. So I can't tell you that information other than if one remote doesn't work, try the other. And granted, start with the newer version, and then if that doesn't work, get the older version. Anyways, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.